Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. My name is Levi McCurdy, and this is episode 196. We are getting so close to the day, and I mean, if you want to see exactly how I'll be entering the room during my inevitable reception, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for the bride and groom type of situation. Check out the TikTok. What are we doing at WAD Pod, WAWDPOD on TikTok? You can see that. Maybe it looks a little bit like this. And so, yeah, that's how it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I'm out of breath. It's okay. I'm always out of breath when we start these episodes because we get a little excited, we get a little hype. We play some music in the studio just to really amp everybody up. But sometimes we dance too hard and we get out of breath. So welcome back to the podcast. It's here, we're here every week. We're back. And I need you to hit the like button. First and foremost, hit the subscribe button. That big, beautiful, as my son would say it, S-U-B, sub, S-R-I-B, subscribe. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
Subscribe to the channel, hit like, hit the bell so you get the notification. Follow us on all social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, the whole 99 yards of it all. Happy Independence Day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another year, another 4th of July. I hope everyone sees fireworks this year. At our house this year, we're celebrating independence from reality as we've disassociated with everything going on. So let me know how you plan on celebrating your independence this year in the comments down below.
What are we doing?
And to all of my, I know I have a lot of them on this podcast, all of my Star Wars fans, to all of my Star Wars fans, may the 4th of July be with you, or whatever the phrase is.
What are we doing?
So listen, once again, history has repeated itself. Philadelphia has become a trash haven. If you haven't heard the news, or if you'll remember, as I say once again, what happened, this happened before, back in what year was it? Back in 1986. Most of the listeners of this podcast probably were not born at that date and time, but if you were, you were. If you were around, you were around, and you'll remember that in 1986, it was a 20-day strike that time, and trash wasn't collected. It's when the city of Philadelphia was deemed the nickname Filthadelphia.
What are we doing?
And so, as it much often does, history has repeated itself, and we are now on strike again, and no trash has been collected since, upwards of 4 days ago on July 1st, when the workers of the DC 33 union, who in the city of Philadelphia are in charge of water, maintenance, city work, emergency responders. When you call 911, those people answer the phone. Some of those are them, you know what I mean? And the biggest group of them all are obviously those of the trash collectors. And so they're all on strike this week because the city of Philadelphia, according to them and their leadership at the union, say that they don't get paid enough. They don't get paid a living wage. They don't get paid enough to do what they're doing on a daily/weekly basis all the time, full-time job basis. And so they say, hey, either we get some more money, we get a raise, or we're out. We're done. We're striking.
What are we doing?
And naturally, here we are. So the strike's been going on for the last 4 days. No trash has been collected, and it's starting to become an issue, right? And so to combat the non-picking up of the trash, the mayor of Philadelphia, who we'll get to in a minute, you know what I mean? Lovely lady, we'll get to her in a minute, you know? She's crashing out. The mayor, she came up with this genius idea to put out like 50 or 60 like big storage container, shipping container bins for everyone to then manually on their own go put their trash in because it's not getting collected. The only problem with that plan is that it only maybe lasted for about like an hour or two until the point in which everyone took their trash to said containers and they were immediately full.
What are we doing?
So much so to the point that all of the trash then just started getting left on the outside of the bins, to the point now where the trash is now blocking sidewalks, to the point now where the trash is now blocking some streets, and everything is just kind of a mess and stinky and a filth, and it's gross out. It's hot out again today. It's the 4th of July. Celebrate your independence, Philadelphia, because you got a city full of trash.
What are we doing?
And that's where we're at. And that's where we're at in this country. We're on that same weirdo, some kind of funky, we haven't come back since COVID happened, reality of a timeline where there are just piles and mounds and mountains and streets and sidewalks full of trash in the city of Philadelphia. And so the plan didn't go as planned. Everything's falling apart. It's the 4th of July weekend, which makes it just a little bit even more ironic that this is is happening here. Take a closer look. Ready?
Has set up spots around the city, more than 60 spots where you can drop off your trash if it is your trash day.
And it's just sitting there.
Today, the AFL-CIO, that larger group of unions, was encouraging people not to do that. I spoke to the president of the AFL-CIO about why they are sending a different message than you are hearing from the mayor. Take a listen.
Anybody who would be looking to do that work in the place of those striking workers is a scab. And so we're just encouraging people not to support any sort of scabbing that could be happening, and certainly for them not to do it themselves.
Is that fair to residents who are just trying to clean up their own house?
Absolutely. Everybody has that concern. Everybody, is concerned about cleanliness and hygiene and, trash piling up in July, certainly. But it's very clear what happened here is that the workers are exercising their rights to collectively bargain, and in this case, go on strike for better.
So, and I mean, this is the issue. The strikers and the union organizers don't want you taking your trash because then you're essentially doing the work that they should be getting paid to do for free. You're scabbing.
What are we doing?
And so, you know what I mean? They want a livable wage. And I believe the number being tossed around from the mayor's office was, hey, here's what we'll do. We'll come to terms with, giving you a better and bigger and higher salary. How about 3%? We're willing to raise all of your salaries by 3%. And so what's going to happen is you need to come back to work. And by the way, hey, clean up all this mess while you're at it.
What are we doing?
And then we'll give you 3%. And so they were like, hey, lady, we're not trying to do that, okay? We're not trying to do 3%. We need a little bit more than 3%. And so at the end of the day, it's basically coming down to a game of wits, okay? The mayor is now finding out that, and this has been happening. The more this happens, the funnier it gets. When boomers, the mayor of the boomer generation, the mayor of Philadelphia, when boomers find out that most of your personal information is, 1, online, and 2, can be found pretty easily if need be. Case in point, the mayor and all of her friends' salaries with the roles that she created for them within her administration / government / regime as the mayor of Philadelphia was all discovered, of course, online. And now, also, by the way, how much her salary is now and how much her raises have been over the last couple of years. And it's all basically it's all in a Google sheet online, publicly accessible information.
What are we doing?
And so when boomers find out, when boomers get shocked, when like all of their personal stuff gets leaked, when they start getting into internet battles and battles with people on the streets of real life, you know what I mean? It basically comes down to them versus what we can find out about you on the internet. And so now that everyone knows how much the mayor's salary is and how much her 9% raise was over the last few years, they're kind of pissed because she only wanted to give them 3%.
What are we doing?
And so it's just this phenomenon that I'm obsessed with when the boomers find out that we know more about them than they do. So naturally the mayor is crashing out. Okay, the mayor is crashing out and she doesn't know what to do. She's being PC, very politically correct. She's going back to her team, trying to figure out what to say and what to say next. But when all of the people online and all of the people on TikTok are coming directly for her, she has nothing left to do other than A, crash out, and B, just get real down to the nitty gritty of it. Yep, this is how much I make, bitch. This is how much my raise was. I'm doing the best I can. There was just an explosion last week. I don't know what's going on. There's a plane crash every 3 days.
What are we doing?
The mayor of Philadelphia.
Left City Hall today from a briefing. I walked around and I had a chance to talk to some members from District Council 33. And when I talked to them about what was on the table, they said that's not true. They said, but we can tell you what is true. I said, what's true? That you came in, you got elected and gave yourself a 9% raise when you became the mayor. I said, I don't know how to...
That's her right there, that face.
What are we doing?
That's her not knowing how to mentally process the fact that the millennials who are striking in a part of DC 33 know how to obtain information about people via online sources. And this is her not being able to process how they would have known that when she got into office, she made this much, gave herself a 9% raise to make this much, and she can't really fathom how they would know that, and she wasn't expecting them to come to the table ready with a 1-2 punch like, Jake Paul.
What are we doing?
This is her not being able to process it.
You got elected and gave
It's so
yourself
funny.
a 9% raise when you became the mayor.
And
I said, I don't know.
How do you know that? How? What? Huh? I don't know.
I don't know how to tell you.
What are we doing?
It's a blatant falsehood. It's an untruth. It is a lie. When I was elected mayor in January of 2024, I started with the same exact salary that Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney had on December the 31st when he had his last day in office. That was $261,497.
It's too much. It's too much. It should be $100,000 less for whatever it is. What do you gotta do? Like, you gotta, every time there's a tragedy, I don't know, man. Hey, I'm working on my political run. I gotta start as president of the HOA, then I'm gonna be mayor, then I'm gonna be governor, then I'll be president. So I'm working on that now. So I don't know what a mayor does on a daily basis, but I assume it's probably not much. And so, you know what I mean? For $270,000 a year, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe, I don't know. Give some to the pick 'em up trash. Give some to the trash people. You know what I mean? Give them some. You know?
Say when I came in, I gave myself
I'm just kidding.
a 9% pay raise. It's just not factual, Philadelphia. And quite frankly, to the tax-paying residents of the city of Philadelphia, well, I don't have the ability to stop information from being disseminated on social
That's
media.
right.
I do
Fake
have the right
news.
to share the truth with you.
Blame the fake news.
What are we doing?
Scratch now.
$161,497. The same salary that Mayor Jim Kenney had when he left. I received a COLA in July of 2024. Not that I gave myself. A COLA of 3.14%. Is that pie? I'm sorry. 3.14%.
Try to be funny. That's it. Bring it back with some jokes. Bring it back with
That's what I
some
received, not
jokes.
because-
What are we doing?
At this point, Look, folks, it's a situation where this should have been handled, should have been taken care of, and they're not going to be able to. There's not going to be a situation where, like, hey, now we've got streets full of trash. We're going to have to bring bulldozers in. That's going to cost money. And how long is it going to spend once you get all of the employees back into their jobs? Once you come up with an actual term that they can agree to, who's cleaning up this mess? Who's spending time? It's going to take probably a week or two to get all of the trash that is just now on the streets and sidewalks overflowing from the bins and the dumpsters that you put out. And so it's going to cost so much more money than the negotiation tables for the salary raises now. And so what this is affecting as of right this moment, this very second, as we are recording live, there is supposed to be a 4th of July concert every year on the Benjamin Franklin Parkway. There's supposed to be a concert. And you know who's supposed to be there this year? None other than the man himself, LL Cool J.
What are we doing?
Well, you can bet your bottom dollar that, you know what I mean? LL Cool J isn't really okay with what's going on in Philadelphia. It's a situation where you have to pick sides. One, are you LL Cool J and try to drive through the trash to get through the concert to the stage? And two, are you down with, you know what I mean? Do your people, he's probably, if he's coming, if LL Cool J is doing a concert in Philadelphia, there's probably a chance he knows someone who probably lives in Philadelphia who might be affected by this. So now it's personal with LL Cool J.
Opinions on this. People who were or still are planning to come to the Wow Wow Welcome America concert tonight, they're a bit bummed out that LL Cool J says he will not perform as long as the DC 33 strike is going on. Here is part of that Instagram post that he shared last night.
I never, ever want to disappoint my fans. And especially in Philadelphia, y'all mean too much to me. But there's absolutely no way that I could perform, cross a picket line and pick up money when I know that people are out there fighting for a living wage. I'm not doing that.
The president of DC 33 issued a statement reacting to this decision. He started off by saying LL Cool J's decision to stand in solidarity with the labor movement by choosing not to cross a picket line is a powerful testament to his respect for workers' rights. Mayor Sherelle Parker, meantime, said that she spoke personally with LL Cool J, saying that she respects the decision and understands his desire to see the city unified, and he is always welcome in Philadelphia.
So LL Cool J is giving up his bag for the city of Philadelphia, but the mayor of the city of Philadelphia can't?
What are we doing?
Maybe, I don't know, you know? So, I mean, it doesn't sound good. I mean, if the last one lasted 20 days, I mean, that was like that was years and years and years and years ago. 1986. So it was, you know, it's one of those situations where at the end of the day, either they're going to bring in a whole new squad or the president will have to get involved. I don't know. It's at the end of the day, they'll end up probably getting their money, but boy, oh boy, what a catastrophe.
What are we doing?
Listen, everybody's loving this content on YouTube, on our TikTok. Follow us on TikTok. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our Tiny Chef segment from last week really, really racked it up. I mean, I am still just till right now getting likes and comments on our TikTok, on the clip we just posted on our YouTube channel. I mean, the Tiny Chef cancellation news last week really hit the hearts of not only our audience, but I think a newfound group of people who discovered our podcast from the Tiny Chef clips. I mean, run it up. Thank you.
What are we doing?
Shout out to you guys. I think the TikTok, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but 5,000 views on a TikTok for us, when on average, for whatever reason, we only get 300, because 99% of our clips are bangers. You know, it's fine. I think it's just, we're probably shadow banned, you know?
What are we doing?
And so, you guys are loving that content. So now that Tiny Chef is out of a job, we are seeing these clips now of him trying to come up with what he's going to do next, okay? Is he going to be a singer or a gardener, or what his next career path is in his little Tiny Chef world? And so we've discovered this TikTok. Tiny Chef is trying to be a magician. He is trying to do magic. And I thought, who better than none other retired magician myself than to, we'll do an America's Got Talent style situation. I've got my golden buzzer right here. More details on the mass production of these coming in the next few weeks. So I've got my golden buzzer. If we need to hit it and give Tiny Chef the golden buzzer for his magic trick, we'll send him straight through to Vegas and hopefully change his life. We'll get him a residency. He can work with Penn and Teller, maybe Piff the Magic Dragon. We'll call it a day. Bada bing, bada boom. We change Tiny Chef life. Let's see what he's got going on here. Let's see what he's doing with the magic. Is he going to disappear? Is he going to do a card trick? What is Tiny Chef up to today? Magic wand, I like it. The Great Chefini, love the name, by the way.
Welcome everybody to the Great Chefini's Magic Show!
I'm so excited.
As you can see, I have 1 pea and 3 thimbles. 1, 2, 3. Nothing under these thimbles. Now,
Okay.
but I'm gonna place this pea on top of the thimble like so. I will now attempt to send that pea through the thimble, but onto the table. Blabwakadabwa, woo nimble, send this pea right through the thimble. I present you the pea.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Blabwakadabwa, send the pea on the table, please. Ah, a cranberry? Oh, good grief. Ollie, get out the cowboys!
I mean, he turned a pea into a cranberry. The cranberry wasn't there before. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how this trick works. This is something that I have never seen before. And to be honest with you, after hearing this man's backstory, after seeing him perform, there's only one thing left that we can do. Oh, it's confetti everywhere. Tiny Chef, you're going straight through. You're my golden buzzer. Tiny Chef, if you know how that trick was done, let us know in the comments below. And man, I mean, it is just one of those situations where we're cheering for Tiny Chef, and we're gonna do what? What's that, Megs? Megs literally, let me just paint the picture for you right now. Megs literally just came rushing up into the studio. She never comes up here when I'm recording. It's kind of just a thing. So she just came rushing. If Megs is rushing up into the studio, you know something's going on. She just rushed up here, showed me this. This was just posted on the Tiny Chef's Instagram. Listen to this, folks. We promise this is our last call to action, asking you to sign up for Chef's Fan Club. If you haven't yet already, link in bio. The team is getting ready to turn the tiny cameras back on in Chef's tree stump home because you all saved Tiny Chef.
What are we doing?
The outpouring of love, messages, fan art, and donations have truly meant the world to the team. We are excited to get back to work and capture Chef's next journey. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is thanks to the What Are We Doing podcast, this clip that we posted, we shared the news, we created outpour, we created outreach, we got the people rallied, we got the people listening. I don't know if it's Nickelodeon. Do we know if it's Nickelodeon or not? We don't know if it's Nickelodeon. It might be Amazon. We don't have that news just yet. This is just happening. We are 100% responsible for saving Tiny Chef.
What are we doing?
I knew that this podcast moved mountains, but I didn't know they were that big. It is a situation where you just have to really, if you believe in something, you'll get it done. If we can, listen, if this podcast alone can save Tiny Chef from cancellation or get it picked up somewhere else or a new season or whatever's happening, we can save Joe Exotic. We can get Joe Exotic out of prison. We can get him pardoned. We can get Trump to sign it very, very soon. And we can make things happen.
What are we doing?
This podcast makes miracles happen. Hey, we saved Tiny Chef. That means we are this close, baby girl. We are this close to getting our friend Joe pardoned from the President of the United States, out of jail, and back to reality.
What are we doing?
It's just Tiny Chef is saved, babes. We did it. Thank you to you. You did it. We did it. They did it. Megs did it. We all collectively have saved Tiny Chef from cancellation. It was a tough couple of days. But if they can, I mean, hey, man, hats off to all of you guys. Chef hats off to all of you guys. You know what I'm saying? So Tiny Chef's back. Tiny Chef is saved. Tiny Chef isn't going anywhere. We could do it. I knew we could do it. I knew we could do it. So listen, a little recap and record time. Okay, Megs and I checked out this new Netflix kind of mini series, whatever, multi-mini documentary. I don't know what you want to call it. The crazy, extravagant, crazy things that happen. I don't know what the title is. The Poop Cruise.
What are we doing?
Megs and I watched The Poop Cruise on Netflix. And it's basically exactly what it sounds like. I mean, this is reason number 397 why I don't think that Megs and I and or anyone from our immediate family will ever be going on a cruise. Now, I know that most of the nightmare stories have happened like in the past 10 to 20 years ago. The poop cruise that we'll be referencing in this review happened back in 2013. So about, 10, 12, 13 years ago is when this happened. So it's still kind of relatively, you know what I mean? It's not that far out. And so basically, when we watched the documentary a few years ago on Amazon about the cruise, it basically told us like if one banana goes rotten, the whole boat will just sink to the bottom of the ocean.
What are we doing?
And so we watched that and got terrified. We've heard nightmare stories, like if you're sick, you're quarantined to your room, you're trapped, you can't go anywhere. Every video we see of a Carnival cruise, it's always packed. There's people everywhere. I don't know, dude. I think I'd rather, if I'm going to take a cruise, it'll probably be to like Alaska to see the whales.
What are we doing?
And so on this cruise, the engine room catches on fire. There was a faulty line. They knew this was it was happening on a bunch of other boats. They knew that this was an issue. They knew this could have happened, but they just said, F it, we're going to try our chance. We're going to go anyways. And so the whole engine room catches fire, which immediately not only shuts down the engine of the boat, but it shuts down all the power to the boat, which means that nothing on the boat works. The showers don't work. The toilets don't work. The kitchens don't work. The refrigerators don't work. Nothing on the boat functions except for a few emergency features like the radio overhead system, some lights in the hallways like that have to be kind of on and have like a power bank or battery somewhere or something that's just built into the ship. There were a few things, but 99% of everything not working.
What are we doing?
And so naturally, what do you got to do? They can't ethically just do their business over the side of the boat, contaminate the ocean. It's not safe. It'll fall inside the boat. It's gross. There's other people below you. Like it's situational. So what does the staff and crew have to do? They have to give everyone these little red emergency bags that you got to poop in. And so then you have to put the bag out in the hallway, and then it's up to the staff of the cruise to go around and collect all the poop bags at the beginning and end of every day. And so naturally, people started coming up with creative ways to go to the bathroom. There were rumors and conspiracies about 1 or 2 toilets that were actually working. Some people did it off the side of the ship. Some people opted for the bags. Some people discovered that you could pee in the showers because the water would still drain, so you could just do your business in the shower. It was just a nightmare of a situation. And so essentially then what happened was they were stuck there and on this cruise, not being able to do anything for 8 days straight. They were stranded in the middle of the ocean, halfway between America and Mexico. They thought they were getting rescued by Mexico. That was 3 days in. The Mexico was like, no way. You drifted too far. Now we can't. You got to call America. They got to come get you. So then they had to wait 2 more days for American rescue boats to come get them. Then they got rescued, but they can't turn the motors back on, so they've got to use 2 tiny-ass little tugboats to pull and tow this big-ass cruise ship through the ocean. So that takes 3 days. So they're on this boat, this nightmare of hell, for 8 days straight, not having anywhere to go to the bathroom, hardly have anything to eat. They can't, there's nothing to do. There's no activity. They were making tents with the sheets outside. At one point in time, the captain of the ship was like, F it, let's just open the bar, free alcohol for everybody. And a rager immediately popped off.
What are we doing?
I mean, they just got piss-ass drunk. The fights were happening. Couples were hooking up on the balcony. People were having sex left and right, fighting left and right, getting crazy left and right, hoarding drinks, taking them back to their room. It was insane. They had to shut that down with a few hours. And so it was just basically this nightmare of a situation where you had families, bridal parties, a guy and his daughter, a guy and his husband, a guy and his father-in-law, so many 4,000 people stranded on this cruise. And then the worst of it all, they, for 8 days, that's a lot of human discard. That's a lot of pee. That's a lot of poo. And so to put all of that down the drainage system of the showers, it all got backed up and started gurgling its way back up out of the shower.
What are we doing?
So then everyone kind of had to stay out of their rooms. And it was fine until the tugboats came along and rescued everybody. Well, that tilted the ship by 15 degrees. And when that happened, everything started to flood. The hallways, the corridors, the rooms were just dripping and oozing with human feces, and it was just it was a shit ship.
What are we doing?
And it was just a nightmare of an event, of a vacation. Reason number 394 why we will never go on a cruise, because if that happens to us, dude, I'm bailing. I got to get a tugboat ride back to shore, because I'm not spending 8 days on a boat with no way, Jose. I'm not doing it. It'll never happen. They get home. Carnival, listen to the outcome of this. Carnival gives each passenger not only a refund for everything they spent, their ticket, and all of that. They got their trip for free, of course. They got a $500 cash voucher, a money order for $500 cash for each passenger, and a coupon for another free Carnival cruise.
What are we doing?
And that's basically it. Because at the time, Carnival had a clause in their ticket that stated, by purchasing said ticket, we do not have any responsibility if we get stranded, if a storm hits us, if the boat gets capsized, if a wave hits us, if there's a sharknado. Carnival is not responsible for anything that happens to you or the boat or your well-being or your sickness or your child on this cruise. So technically, they didn't have to refund them. They didn't have to give them $500, and they didn't have to give them a free ticket for a cruise. But out of the kindness of their hearts, they did it anyway.
What are we doing?
Oh, and by the way, dude, the ship that caught fire, the ship that was leaking shit, the ship that was leaking pit, the ship that they had to tow from Mexico back to the city, that ship The actual ship, they dropped like a shit ton of money on it, renovated the whole thing, and it's operating right now as a cruise that you can book, get a ticket for, walk on, and sail away with.
What are we doing?
Are you insane? Carnival Cruise Line. It's the most, if you've been contemplating going on a cruise, do yourself a favor and stay away. Go anywhere else. Do anything else. Any other form of travel. I know people all the time. I've got plenty of friends. I think Los maybe. I think Tyler. I've got so many friends who have gone on cruises and have had a grand old time. But it is something that I will never, ever do. And so then this second episode, dude, of this Netflix show was just a behind the scenes, what happened, retelling of the Astroworld incident. If you'll remember back in 2021, we were just coming fresh out of COVID. We hadn't had a concert, a music festival, a live performance, a show, anything to do with human interaction, being outside, seeing another person do anything of any sorts for like a year and a half, thanks to the COVID-19 lockdowns. So when 2021 rolled around, people started getting antsy, and so did the artists and the performers. So we started doing some early prep on some early shows, one of which included the resurrection and the reintroducing of Astroworld, Travis Scott's concert festival. And so this year in 2021, he would have one stage for all the other artists that people can go see, SZA and all of the hot people at the time, you know what I mean? They were over there. And then on this other place over here, this other stage, that was for Travis Scott only. And so when I tell you that security didn't stand a chance, the infrastructure didn't stand a chance, it was doomed from the beginning. The way they had the barrier set up, the way they had the stage built, the way that they had the park and everything and the property, it should never have happened the way it did. And when you watch this documentary and the clock is counting down and Travis is about to come out on stage, 30 seconds to go, 20 seconds to go, and they're talking and you can hear the crowd is getting tighter and pushing closer and closer because every person there wants to be as close to Travis Scott as possible. They want to give him the energy he deserves, the energy he demands, and the energy he respects in order to make this one of the biggest shows of all time. They're knocking down gates. They're pushing down security walls and barriers.
What are we doing?
It is not a safe place for anyone to be. And these kids, these are high school kids, young adults, teenagers, 20-something-year-olds who are just there trying to have a good time, who are trying to see their favorite artist who in the past has demanded and rewarded and promoted this type of behavior, this energy, the jumping, the pushing, the mosh pit, the energy that a performance and an artist demands during a show. And the issue with that is the normal amount of energy is something that you see from my man, Austin Richard Post. Something that we experienced just a few weeks ago in downtown Philadelphia before the whole trash thing popped off. And that's the energy that you are supposed to feel and give and experience with the artist as an audience. What's not supposed to happen is you crank it up to 10, like Travis Scott does, to the point where you have people who are dying.
What are we doing?
They couldn't breathe. They were suffocating. They couldn't move, whatever position you were in. If the crowd went this way, the crowd went that way. It was a nightmare. They were screaming at the production to shut it down. There was one EMT on staff. There was one medical professional on staff walking around trying to help people. And it quickly, after the first 4 minutes, became a never-ending pit of hell that if you were in the middle of it, by God, may the luck forever be in your favor.
What are we doing?
We couldn't finish the episode. I was watching this and I couldn't breathe. seeing these people not be able to move and breathe, and just the footage of Astroworld. Just go to YouTube, look up. I'll try to include some of it here maybe, but if you look up just the footage of that crowd, it is one of the most insane things that we have ever seen, I think, in our lifetime when it comes to live music and entertainment. I mean, Coachella isn't that way. Bonnaroo isn't that way. It is something straight out of a nightmare when you try to imagine what it must have been like for the people in the middle of the crowd, let alone those up against the metal barriers, let alone those pinned up against other people who couldn't move, who are getting trampled on. I had to turn it off. We had to turn it off because I could not for a moment fathom that if I would have taken my sexy ass fiance to a Post Malone concert that she has been looking forward to for a year straight, and this type of crowd happened, and this type of event, and we were pinned up and smashed up against people, and we couldn't breathe, and I had to fight to get her out, I don't think I'd be able to actually succeed in doing so.
What are we doing?
And so I get, when I start to watch real shit, that's when I have to turn it off. That's when I get scared. When I'm watching things like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, that shit doesn't exist. Winnie the Pooh's a fictional character. This is fun. When I'm watching things like Sharknado or the Saw movies or anything that's supposed to be a horror film, until it passes that boundary of it being real, something that could happen to you at the next concert or whatever type of live event situation you go to, by God, I can't fathom, and I have to turn it off.
What are we doing?
Dude, the Astroworld thing's crazy. The Astroworld thing is actually pretty freaking crazy. Listen, do we have footage of this? Where's the footage of the Yin Yang twins? Let's put in some footage of that, dude, because I'm pretty sure we've got that. Where is that? Right here. Listen to this. The Yin Yang twins, like to the windows, to the wall. Yin Yang twins, shaky like a salt shaker. Millennials, you know the Yin Yang twins.
What are we doing?
The Yin Yang twins in 2025, this just happened, are performing at SeaWorld. Listen to this. I mean, it is a situation. Do we not have any audio? Where can we find any amounts of audio? Oh, here we go. Sorry. Pulling up the wrong slider, Levi. Look at this. We're twerking. We're doing Get Low. We're having a good time. It's the Yin Yang twins at SeaWorld.
What are we doing?
There he is. I mean, there you look. I mean, we have got the oldest fuck, gray dreaded, beer belly Yin Yang twin. My man's looking fresh to death. Look at him with his hoodie on. Fresh to death at SeaWorld. Oh my God. Why are the Yin Yang twins performing at SeaWorld in 2025? Well, I'll tell you why. It's part of their summer concert series. This is real. This is happening. Whatever intern or whatever person who is employed at SeaWorld came up with this collaboration, hats off to you, my friends, because this is genius. What better way to create viral moments this summer than to have very unlikely but also extremely popular artists come perform mini concerts at your little Shamu like plaza thing where they do the dolphin shows and make it fun. It's one of the greatest marketing ideas I think I've ever seen in my life.
What are we doing?
So what has happened, and this is real, what has happened is it's right here. Prepare for an electrifying summer. The summer spectacular concerts are back, extending their run to 9 incredible shows at the Bayside Amphitheater. For the first time ever, we're hosting some of the most influential rap, names in the industry of rap, hip hop, and R&B as a series, bringing their iconic sounds to our stage. Join us every Saturday night from June 21st to August 23rd at 6 p.m. for an unforgettable musical journey featuring R&B, hip-hop, and rap hits from the 90s and early 2000s. With the Bay's scenic views as our stunning backdrop, this is the ultimate spot to move to the sounds that defined a generation. Come celebrate summer with us. The energy will be high and the atmosphere vibrant. Concerts are included with park admission. Upgrade to reserve your seats for the best seats in the house. And this is all presented to you by Jammin' 97.5. So basically, what happened was we all made SeaWorld get rid of the big orca whale show.
What are we doing?
PETA and Society and TikTok were like, yo, you guys are abusing the whales. We need a new form of entertainment at SeaWorld. And SeaWorld was like, bet, give us a minute. And then came back with this bomb-ass idea of teaming up with none other than Jammin' 95.7 to bring us the ultimate SeaWorld amphitheater concert series. This is real.
What are we doing?
This is so real. They just had the Yin Yang twins, okay? And shows coming up, I swear to God, shows coming up at SeaWorld are included but not limited to on Saturday, July 12th, Soulja Boy and Bow Wow.
What are we doing?
And I'll just say right now, I'm working on a whole bit. I've got a whole bit ready to go about Soulja Boy. I think Soulja Boy is one of the most underrated rappers of our generation, and B, simultaneously, one of the most influential rappers of our generation.
What are we doing?
Soulja Boy has been the first to have his own game console. He's been the first to be at SeaWorld. He's been the first rapper to shoot a three-pointer. He's been the first rapper to have his own crypto. He's been the first rapper to do so many things. I think he's got like 19 Guinness World Records as the first rapper to do insert the words here. And I just think Soulja Boy, man, he has been in the spotlight for quite some time now, whereas others have faded. Soulja Boy has always been there.
What are we doing?
Flowers to Soulja Boy. So he'll be performing with Bow Wow, who's got some bangers too. Then next Saturday after that, July 19th, Fat Joe. Saturday after that, Waka Flocka Flame. Saturday after that, I Love the 90s tour. Oh, who's that with? Oh, I'll tell ya. Featuring Color Me Bad, Rob Bass, Trench of Naughty by Nature, and Young MC. Audience members can expect to hear chart-topping hits like I Wanna Sex You Up, Bust a Move, It Takes Two, and more.
What are we doing?
The weekend after that, we get Trina. The weekend after that, on August 16th, we get Genuine. You know what I mean? Pony. Bow, bow, bow.
What are we doing?
And then to just wrap it all up, on August 23rd, the last concert of the summer at SeaWorld is the Turn Up Tour on August 23rd, featuring none other than that. Listen to this lineup, folks. You're probably going to want to go to this one. If you can make it, you'll be seeing none other than Petey Pablo, Paul Wall, Jaquan, and Bubba Sparks. I'm talking the highest energy.
What are we doing?
I'm talking Raise Up. I'm talking Sitting Sideways. I'm talking Tipsy. I'm talking Miss New Booty. I'm talking Grills. I'm talking the hits we were bumping at high school homecoming back in 2009, baby.
What are we doing?
I'm talking the hits we were bumping at the Spring Fling back in 2005, baby.
What are we doing?
I'm talking about the hits. You got to hit the Turn Up Tour at SeaWorld. go see some dolphins, then turn right around, get yourself a beverage, and go hit the amphitheater, see the sunset, and boop, it's Bow Wow and Soulja Boy.
What are we doing?
I don't know who came up with this grand idea, but they deserve they deserve more than a 3% raise. Give it to them, because them bringing this virality awareness to SeaWorld is something we would never have expected. Genius Marketing 101. Summer concert series, round 2. Let's go. It's every Saturday. Hit up SeaWorld. Go see Soulja Boy, dude. Go to see Soulja Boy at SeaWorld.
What are we doing?
Listen, last bit, then I'll get the hell out of here. Everyone is telling me that I need to cover this story, and it's Chuck E. Cheese. Chuck E. Cheese just announced its latest shift in business model yet again. We've seen this happen time and time again. When Chuck E. got rid of all the animatronics and they went digital, they tried to bring it into the new era because they were losing money, but a new round of investment. That's not working anymore, again, because guess what? The pizza still grows. The pizza from Chuck E. Cheese version 1 to the pizza to Chuck E. Cheese version 2 somehow got nastier, and 2 somehow got ruined by YouTube's very own Shane Dawson.
What are we doing?
I blame Shane Dawson for the downfall of Chuck E. Cheese, because there is no denying his undisputed viral piece of content that is of him going to multiple Chuck E. Cheese's, ordering a large pizza, and having like no percent to 1% of any of the slices lining up.
What are we doing?
The excuse for that naturally is like they sell pizzas by the slice or by the half. So when an order for a full one comes in, if they only need to make a half, they're only going to make a half. And like, it's kind of still a bad business practice, but at the end of the day, it looks like that the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese just really isn't good. So then Pizza Hut tried version 2.5 and tried pulling a wall over our eyes by opening Pasquale's, the DoorDash only restaurant ghost kitchen. But when you order from Pasquale's on DoorDash, you're just getting Chuck E. Cheese delivered.
What are we doing?
This comes in a different box. Most of the time it comes in a Chuck E. Cheese box because the owner of the Chuck E. Cheese never ordered the Pasquale's boxes like corporate told him to do. And so then we got Chuck E. Cheese 2.5 with the DoorDash shit. Everyone figured that out and didn't really fuck with it. So now we are on Chuck E. Cheese 3.0. Not 3%, 3.0. It's Chuck E. Cheese for the adults, baby. We ditched the pizza and we got VR games.
What are we doing?
That's it. Chuck E. Cheese is getting rid of all of their kitchens. They've already got a few test locations out now, but I'm sure all of their current locations will be remodeled to fit this new structure very, very soon. We are done with the children because they're not coming to Chuck E. Cheese anyways, dude. They're playing Fortnite and they're on their iPads. So why do we have these stupid old antiquated ticket arcade games at Chuck E. Cheese anyways, right?
What are we doing?
So now they're trying to be the Dave & Buster's of the world. They're going after their model. They're putting nothing but claw machines and video games inside of these new Chuck E. Cheese's to be arcade only. They don't need employees. They don't have food. They don't need a kitchen. They don't need a staff. These places run themselves. If they put all of the money that they were going to have to pay the employees of the traditional Chuck E. Cheese's anyways into brand new games and things, then why not? Because these places will need 1 to 2 employees, maybe 1 manager, and that's it. They'll cut the employee establishment of Chuck E. Cheese by half, if not to 75%, and they'll save so much money on benefits, salaries, and operating costs, payroll services, etc., that they'll now just have arcade-only based establishments. It's Chuck E. Cheese version 3.0.
What are we doing?
Let's take a listen and learn more about what's going on with Chuck E. Cheese. You know?
It isn't just a place where kids can be kids. The arcade chain is opening a spin-off designed for adults that has a mix of nostalgic games like Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat and new titles such as Halo. The new stores will open
Wait,
in
what?
What are we doing?
Run that back, please.
shopping malls and
Hold
eight
on, run.
can be
that
kids.
all
The
way
arcade
back?
chain is opening a spin-off designed for adults that has a mix of nostalgic games like Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat and new titles such as Halo. The new
Okay, what does that do?
What are we doing?
This newscast, who is this from? This is not a parody account. This is NBC
open in
News.
shopping malls and
NBC News posted 1 day ago. This is NBC News reacting to the news about the new Chuck E. Cheese's. And they're saying that it's going to have Donkey Kong. It's going to have Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat, as well as more modern new titles like Halo.
What are we doing?
Is NBC News using ChatGPT to write their stories? Did someone from NBC News go to ChatGPT and say, write me a news story transcript about the all-new version of Chuck E. Cheese for adults that includes new games and old games, and it's going to be open soon in locations near you? And what ChatGPT thought it should put out, that no one obviously proofread, was Donkey Kong and Mortal Kombat and newer, more traditional titles, new titles like Halo.
What are we doing?
Hey fam, I don't know about you, but I'm almost positive I haven't played it in like 15 years, but I don't think they released a new version of Halo like recently.
What are we doing?
Not a single child on this planet, teenager or young adult, is currently playing Halo.
What are we doing?
There is not a streamer, there may be a select few rare, but like no other, like not a Ninja, Kaizenat, no one is playing Halo. They're playing Call of Duty, they're playing Fortnite, and something tells me you are not going to be able to go to the arcade that Chuck E. Cheese is opening and play Halo in 2025, let alone Donkey Kong or Mortal Kombat.
What are we doing?
I'm almost certain that that is not the case. Let's look at there's a trailer, I think, for this, right? Chuck E. Cheese 2025 trailer. Here it is. Give me the video, please. Where's the video, please? Yeah, they filed for The company's expansion comes 5 years after filing for bankruptcy during the height of COVID-19. So they filed for bankruptcy. Chuck E. Cheese spent $350 million in remodels over the past few years, as well as introducing new pricing tiers to attract budget-focused families. So clearly, that's not working either. You know what I mean?
What are we doing?
Where is it? The video, listen, the video I saw yesterday was simply just, it was a Dave & Buster's.
What are we doing?
The video that I saw yesterday that I can't find now is just a Dave & Buster's. It's claw machines, modern arcade games, mobile games that are in the arcade. And it's like, there's no chance in hell, I'm calling it right now, that the all-new Chuck E. Cheese arcade for adults is going to have Donkey Kong, Halo, or Mortal Kombat in it. And you can bet me on that in the comments. Let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another episode of the What Are We Doing podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. It is the 4th of July. I've got to go get ready. I've got 24 mortars ready to blast off into the sky to put on the best fireworks show for my son that can possibly happen on this planet. Do you know why? Because all the other fireworks shows in central Pennsylvania don't start till 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. That's way past his bedtime. Oh, and by the way, it's got about 2 to 3 hours worth of traffic with it if you actually want to see the fireworks.
What are we doing?
If you go to the York Fairgrounds, you're in an hour worth of traffic. If you go to City Island, you're an hour's worth of traffic. Other than that, the only other locations around here are private residence. So I went out, spent a shit ton of money on fireworks. I'm going over to Sandy Dunkel's house to set them off tonight, and plenty of time for bedtime, then leaving him there for a sleepover. So it's a win-win for us. Happy 4th of July.
What are we doing?
Peace out, everybody. Have a good day. Subscribe, like, follow us, subscribe, suck our butthole. Let's get it done. Make sure you are obsessed with this podcast by the end of the day. Happy 4th of July, folks. Peace out, everybody.
What are we doing?